Good morning, Kenneth.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Let's see, I was on the other end of that spectrum. You got a little bit. I got my whole back window blown out by the hail.
Wow, that's not good. I'm sure you've already called your insurance company.
I have. We filed a claim, and I'm sure they'll take care of it. So everything is good.
That
Especially
happens.
since I'm here with you to discuss the word for the week.
And that is?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to show you.
Yeah, she's going to just make me guess.
Make you wait a second, because for more than 10 years, I started my university school year in July with an icebreaker. We were at Greystone Preparatory School where the students were preparing to receive an appointment to one of the 5 armed service academies.
Okay.
These young adults were 18, 19, 20 years old, and we would have this icebreaker in July before the school ever opened for other people. And this particular year, I think was in 2018, we had a 19-year-old female who came to the icebreaker very shy. It was difficult to have a conversation with her. There was no eye contact. She gave very short answers, really no dialogue or anything. You could tell she was very nervous. But we had to fast forward in that year, and after going through 8 months of our program, she had become quite an effective public speaker.
Really?
Yes, she was really good. In fact, she finished that year as in the final contest and actually won the competition at the end of that year.
Good for
and
her.
So she walked up to the lectern and she put her fist down on that lectern and she pointed out to the audience and she said, "Do you have a fire in your belly?" Think about that.
Sure.
She was 5'2", weighed about 120 pounds. Do you have a fire in your belly? Now, how could she?
Only when I eat foods I shouldn't.
We're not talking about that. But her desire, that burning fire in her, was to become a doctor so that she could research and find a cure for ALS.
Oh, my.
Her favorite uncle had been diagnosed with that terrible disease. So one person, one voice, one message, and one action. That's what we want to talk about today, is the power of one.
Okay.
The power of one.
And we're talking about O-N-E, not W-O-N.
Right. The number one position, the
Just
number
thought
one
I'd clarify
thing.
that.
Well, that's great that you did
Because
that.
the English language is a little confusing.
It can be. But so I asked everybody that's listening in to us today, are you ready to step into the power of one? Power of one. The world needs people. The world needs people that are listening to us right now this morning, because who will do your part if you don't do it? You should make a statement that I will never refuse to do something that I can do, because some people are called to do one thing, and if they don't do it, it will never get done. And ask yourself, what should you be doing? So people who were the one, think about this. The Good Samaritan in the Bible, there was one guy that took that injured person, the person that had been beaten up, and took control for the healing of that one person. Think about Jackie Robinson stepped over that line to play Major League Baseball. It only took one person to confront David. In the Bible, Nathan said, "David, you are that person." Nathan.
And he took it and said, yeah, okay, I'll do it.
Right. So, word for the week, March 24, is one, as we've said. But now that's a very simple word in form, but it's very profound in its meaning. Very profound. So the origin goes back to the Old English, where it meant single or solitary, but it's rooted in the Latin word of unus, U-N-U-S. And it is, in history, it has stood for unity, individuality, and believe it or not, it stands for power, the power of one.
Is it on currency?
Pardon?
Isn't that on our currency?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. So it's a single person, single act, that it can change everything. The impact is undeniable. And once again, consider one man, Martin Luther King. Consider one woman, Mother Teresa. Consider one decision, the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And there are lots and lots of things. If we had time, I'd just go through a litany of a list. That one thing I remember, did you know that before Texas came into the Union, one vote approved it? One. I think another thing that would amaze me, it was one vote when they took years ago that English became the language of America. So one stands for a call to action. And it can just spark a movement. Everything can change. One idea, that's where it all begins. So you believe in your thoughts, believe in that matter, and your contribution creates lasting impact. So a lot of people have been the one. Reach out there and think about that small lady that came to that lectern who, when we first met her, she could not look you in the eye and have a conversation. But because of that desire, she stepped out of her comfort level and started doing the things. She was an outstanding student, got an appointment to West Point, became a commander of a tank brigade. Gosh, she was wonderful. So I ask you, are you the one in your family? Are you the one in your community? Do you give support and encouragement and hold people accountable? Do you stand up for your expertise that you have in your industry or in your environment? So I say speak out, make a difference, and be the one.
Wow. Okay. Going to go out there and you can be number one.
You can be number one. That's right. Be number one.
Very good. Kenneth O'Neill, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd like to chat with him, it's merger@windstream.net.
Send me an email. That'd be great. Get started. Or you can call me, 830-285-7010. Or text me and say, hey, let's get together. I'd like to talk to you about being number one. That's the goal, be number one.
Cool.
Yeah, we want to be number one. And so now, hopefully I can go get in line to get my windshield repaired to be number one. Yes!
Ladies and gentlemen, Kenneth O'Neill. He's here with us every Monday morning, right here between the 8 and the 15, of 8:15, somewhere in that area. Anyway, have a good week. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place.
We'll be back.